and it's staged just as much as Barack Obama's staged. You know, Alex, I would like to make a statement here and say, if there was a Messiah in our world, I would have to say it's you. Promoting everything that we need to know instead of the crap that's being filtered through TV that everybody eats up. It makes me absolutely disgusting to look at the TV and see the one. No person that's an elected official in the country of the United States should be promoted as Jesus Christ. And that scares me.
I hear you, my friend. Good to hear from you. Call back again, Brandon. I want to get to Scott, Arthur, Vicky, Aaron, because these calls are all so interesting. You want to hear the next one. And if you go too long, you don't get to hear the next one, but then you don't get to spend enough time with the last person. In fact, I had so many points I wanted to make, and then he said that thing about me, and it made me laugh, and I forgot him. The elites are ruthless. They're hurting us really, really bad right now. But they can't carry out their crimes and have a free internet. So that's why they're trying to shut it down right now. And they are. And that's why, folks, you should take the fact that you can see Endgame Blueprint for Global Enslavement online for free as something really valuable. You should take the fact that you can see Terror Storm or Loose Change Final Cut for free. They don't want that to happen for long. They've expunged it off of a lot of different servers and sites. I'm so busy covering the news and things, I don't even really get into my films, but that's really a big part of the solution. And we may have to go back to, hand-to-hand giving people videos and books and things, as our only means, because the establishment is moving in to try to block our free speech. But the point I wanted to make is we've caught the government many times doing the hacks, doing the malicious things, hacking hospitals and saying, oh, the hacker tried to turn off the power at the hospital so the old people would die. Folks, 99% of the time that's government. I mean, is there some mentally ill person out there that would try something like that? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But every time we track it back, it's the cops. I mean, I remember we're pulling into Denver. I'm talking to We Are Change, 9/11 Truth activists, and they said these guys were cops. They were pushing people. They were hitting people. They started a fight. And then we got there, and we witnessed people that were clearly cops stirring stuff up. And I went on air and said that witnesses saw Marines causing a riot one night, dressed up like anarchists, but getting out of white vans marked, U.S. government. It's now in the Denver Post. We've got to make this a big story. That they just admit, the cops go, yeah, we had officers out there dressed up like protesters, and we had them attack police. I mean, let that sink in out there, folks. I'm not here bashing the police. I want the police on our side. I want them to say no to all this, but I happen to know the feds bombed the World Trade Center the first time. I mean, that's even publicly admitted. They cooked the bomb, trained the drivers, gave them the detonators. They found two nuts to do it, but it was their idea. They created it. They got the informants. They went out and organized and led the attack. So what am I supposed to do? Just ignore that? And the feds bombed Oklahoma City. I mean, they just outright bombed it themselves. BATF did. And then the feds did 9/11. And I mean, and it's in the Army field manuals. It's in two of them. One of them just got declassified. And every time I mention this, people don't believe me and then go pull it up themselves. And it talks about false flag, torture, staging terror attacks. I mean, the Army field manual for captains and above tells them how to stage terror attacks. I mean, it's in the manual. I'm sick of it. And I mean, do listeners think I'm having fun going up against these people? No, I'm not stupid. You think I like getting up here on air and that I enjoy standing up to these people? Believe me, folks, I'm a big fish. It's the only reason I'm not in prison or dead. And they may just say, we don't care and kill me anyways, because they don't care now, folks. They're taking all the money out of the banks. They're stealing everything. They're restricting free speech. They got local cops in Minnesota and Denver ready to follow federal orders to go out and attack other cops to blame it on the American people. I mean, the system is broken. And it comes out in the newspaper and nobody gets in trouble. I'm going to skip this break because I'm so far behind. I want to continue with your phone calls. So here we go for folks on PrisonPlanet.tv.
Of the 3 million...
Scott in Oregon, you're on the air. Welcome.
You're feeling better.
Yeah, I've been hitting the cough button quite a bit. There's those long pauses, but thank you.
Well, I'm calling from Central Oregon, and I'm calling to give a report and plus 2 questions for you. One report is I've been making contact with my emergency management crew here in Oregon. I've been contacting the state and local police. I have 2 National Guard stations here in my Central Oregon area. I went to the administration of the National Guard here, and I asked the CO there, do you know anything about the upcoming martial law, Rex 84, Operation Garden Plot, and Cable Splicer? Can you believe all these agencies, they all acted stupid, like I was crazy, okay? Then I go down to the training facility here for a National Guard, and I walked right into the barracks, and I walked right up to the CO's desk, and I talked to him for a minute, and he acted stupid. And then and I told him I was proud to be a Red Lister, and he jokingly laughed and said, if you're a Red Lister, I will shoot you.
Oh no, it's all about their personal power. See, they're looking forward. Yeah. They're looking forward to it like it's deer hunting. They want to ride around with miniguns in the backs of trucks, laughing like they did in Iraq, just shooting us off the road. And there'll be lots of families out with flags waving it. They're fighting the domestic white Al-Qaeda. Get them. Let the bankers have all our money.
Yeah. And he tried to deny it and try to act stupid, and then at the end of it, I said, I'm going to be a Red Lister, and he goes, well, laughingly, trying to make a joke of it, if you're a Red Lister, I'll have to shoot you. So anyway, and after I made...
And you hadn't mentioned anything about Red List to him?
Excuse me?
You hadn't mentioned anything about Red List to him?
Well, after he played stupid, and I told him to Google right there, I said, turn on your computer. I go, well, it was on. I said, clear off the screen and type in Red List, Blue List. And he looked at it for about 2 seconds, and he turned around and goes, well, if you're a Red Lister, I'm going to have to shoot you. And then he laughed. Of course, I didn't take that too kindly, This was 2 weeks ago. Now, after I've made my visits and my contacts with the emergency management, the National Guard, the state and local police, I immediately start getting phone calls from survey groups, the Gallup polls, people trying to take polls and ask me questions. And their questions were so sensitive that it was insane. Pretty much, how many people live in your house? How strong are you? Can you do physical this or that? How much do you weigh? How tall are you? And to me, and I'm asking you a question, I believe and I feel with all my heart that this is all going into a database on people getting polls that's calling their houses to ask them sensitive information, that it's going into a database.
No, there's no doubt. I mean, that's why 1 in 5 houses gets the extended, there's different variants of it, the extended census.
Yes.
Where it asks, how many toilets, how many guns you got.
Yes.
I remember all that?
Yes. Yeah.
So it's all going in databases because the bankers that own our government, their business is controlling slaves. Their business is managing us, the slaves. It is not making or manufacturing anything. And so everything they do is about how to control us, how to dumb us down, how to divide us. Scott, I appreciate your call. Here we go. All right, I want to hurry through your calls because I want to get into a bunch of news and the Barack Obama worship that I've been witnessing.
Into this house we're born.
Let's go ahead and talk to Arthur in New Jersey. Arthur, you're on the air.
Yeah, hi. I just want to... I do see a New World Order, but I do not see a Western-controlled New World Order. You know, if China and Japan dumped their treasuries tomorrow, the dollar would be completely worthless, and the U.S. would essentially go into bankruptcy. What I do see in the future is that you're going to have the U.S. go bankrupt, and you have them, these foreign countries that have holdings in U.S. treasuries. Essentially, it's going to be a bankruptcy liquidation. You're going to see U.S. corporations being sold out to these foreign countries.
Well, that's exactly what the New World Order is.
Except, hang on, it's not the New World Order per se. Oswald Spengler wrote in Decline of the West, it's a great book, that their civilizations go in cycles.